Howdy folks. Been a while since I posted some content, but I'm fixing to upload 2 videos. So my first video that I've done today is my 2-year review on the Browning Maxus 2. And actually I picked up another shotgun. I kind of do this thing, I'll pick up a shotgun, I'll shoot it for a while. And if I really like it, I'll keep it. If it's kind of okay, I'll just maybe sell it, free up some funds, buy another shotgun. And actually, I ran across this shotgun here, and this is what I want to talk with you about today, guys. No, it's not an 1100. It is not a Remington shotgun either, even though it looks like it. This is a Smith and Wesson Model 1000 Super 12 Waterfowler. So what does that mean? So this is, of course, like I said, Smith and Wesson Model 1000. The Super 12 means it is chambered for 3-inch shells, not just 2 3/4. The original Model 1000 was just 2 3/4 inch 12-gauge shells. And then the Waterfowler portion of it, the gun is has a steel receiver that inside of the receiver they've made cuts in it to make it lighter, but it is a steel receiver and it is a parkerized finish. So the receiver and the barrel and the bolt are a parkerized finish. The trigger guard, which is aluminum, it looks like it's painted. It probably is painted. And then the loading gate is also parkerized. So you can see the Smith and Wesson logo there. I found this shotgun neat because it's so much like a Remington. It handles a lot like a Remington, points like a Remington, but it's not a Remington. And this one here is actually this shotgun came with the multi-choke barrel, so it's actually got chokes. It's changeable. This was something extra too, because a lot of times you can find these shotguns and they're just a fixed choke barrel. So, and the ones that were the multi-choke barrels like this one, they are cut for wind chokes, the old time back in the 70s and 80s Winchester chokes. And then it's actually kind of neat. Maybe you can see it in the video. Might be difficult to see. The barrel actually swells out here, and it gives them the room to cut the barrel for the choke. But wood furniture, parkerized finish. Looks like a nickel bead on the end of the barrel. It does have what looks like a nickel mid bead. No bolt release button on the bottom. Bolt release button on this one's actually on this side, right here. So when you pull it back, button's on this side. Something to get used to, but I like, my favorite part about this shotgun is just the fact that I don't have that button. I've never liked the button on the bottom of the Remington shotguns. Don't know why. Well, I say I don't know why. I mean, I think it's really got to do it because you got to make sure you hit that button before you. Now you could just jam it in there. And loading the shotgun's actually very easy as well. But really, overall, it's a nice shotgun. It's heavier. I think when I put it on the scale, it was 8 pounds, 5 or 6 ounces. So it is a little bit heavier shotgun. And I can tell you with heavier shot, it does have a thump to it. So standard, like 1.25 ounce steel shot, and this shotgun is steel shot rated. It does pretty good. about like what you would expect from an 80s model, you know, semi-automatic shotgun. But if you start getting into the heavier loads like the Boss Bismuth loads, especially like the 3-inch, 1.5 ounce, this gun's got some, it'll thump you. It'll thump pretty good. But the inner workings of this shotgun, and I think why it got the name Model 1000, is it's kind of like the in-between gun. It's not the same as the Sportsman 58, but it's not the same as the Model 11 either. It's kind of like in between the two. So we remove the end cap, we take the forearm off, and you can see here what we're talking about. So the way this shotgun operates is it has a gas port in the bottom of the barrel in this barrel lug, which goes into what is essentially the end of the magazine tube. It has an internal piston, like the Sportsman 58, where the 1100 has an external piston. But where it differentiates is, if you remember the Sportsman 58, you've got a knob on the end of your end cap, and you've got to set it where it's high powered or low powered. Where this one here, in the end of this end cap, at the barrel, under the barrel, at the end of the piston, it actually has a gas regulator valve. So, and the piston is, I guess what you would say, free float. So this sleeve here is attached to the piston with this pin. Of course, you push the pin out, it's just held in by detents, and the piston comes out for cleaning. But, and the way this system operates, you fire the gun, gas goes into the, I guess you would call it the gas chamber. The gas enacts on the piston moves, and this sleeve you see here, which is actually back because I pulled the action back, it's tied into the action. And this gas piston acts like a tappet to push the action bar once it gets it going. And then, of course, the excess gas is bled off by the valve so the gun doesn't beat itself to death. It's a pretty neat shotgun. I mean, I like the way it points. I like the way it handles. It's kind of on that same Sportsman 58 kind of line. It's kind of awkward and quirky to put back together. Because when you take it apart, this sleeve comes apart, the action rods come off of the sleeve, and then it's got like that same plate that the bolt fits on. You kind of got to put it all together and kind of get it back together. But I mean, other than that, they've got tabs in the forearm, which have recessed, machined divots in the receiver. So when you slide it on, it fits together nice and tight. I mean, there is just a touch of wiggle room, but it's not like it's moving on you. Pretty much all the end cap does is just keep the forearm from falling off the front of the shotgun. And then the end cap also has vents made into it so it can vent that gas out. I mean, like I said, it's an interesting shotgun. I could see kind of why this shotgun didn't really take off. When you compare it in the time frame of the 1100s and of the Browning Gold Hunters and the 1187s, which were starting to come out, they're a little bit more, not as cumbersome to take apart and put back together. But other than that, I mean, that's really would be my only gripe with this shotgun. Like I said, it handles good, it points good. The Waterfowler, which we talked about, is a steel receiver. That is part of the because of it being a 3-inch gun, the 2 3/4, and during this time period went to an aluminum receiver. Um, I mean, it's an interesting footnote in shotgun development, and kind of sad in a way that they didn't really become any more popular than what they did. Because I mean, if they took off, I mean, this would have been. I could see where this shotgun could have been uh, a very popular shotgun. Another option besides, you could have been it could have been the 1100 and 1187 and the Gold Hunter and then the 1000. But that's not really the way things went. And I actually hadn't even heard of one of these. Uh, really, didn't really know much about it until I ended up picking one up. But like I said, I like it. It would have originally come with a sling, but of course the slings are gone now. And if I keep this one, I'll end up having to put probably another recoil pad on it. You can see there it's starting to show its wear, and I'm sure a new recoil pad would probably help with those heavier Boss ounce and a half loads, and it would probably even make it more pleasurable to shoot with an ounce and a quarter. Skeet shooting, dove hunting with ounce and an eighth loads, it's a dream. Recoil is not very much. Function flawless. Haven't put, I haven't shot it 400 or 500 times, but I have shot it. I think I put about 4 boxes of shells through it, and not had any issues with it. So this is one that I figured you guys might like to take a look at. I've seen some videos on YouTube of the Smith and Wesson 1000. I haven't seen any on YouTube with the Waterfowler, the Super 12 Waterfowler, and that's why I wanted to kind of break it down and show the parkerized finish and barrel, the dark wood furniture, the regulator valve. And I could see where this. I mean, like I said, it's not shiny, nothing flashy. Sun to glint off of and flare the birds. I mean, this they put a little bit of thought, I think, into this waterfowl shotgun. And then whenever you add, the fact that you can change the chokes on it. I mean, we're starting to get into the step of, we're starting to get to a more modernized era of shotgun where we're going away from the blued finish. We're going to where a gun's capable of functioning with 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells. We're going to the interchangeable chokes, and I actually have a Carlson's cremator in here. And we're starting to get into the era that, most of us duck hunters and stuff today take for granted. But I mean, you're talking about years ago, 50 years ago, which might be longer than that now, 70 years ago. I mean, it was blued receivers, and you had to keep them clean. And if you was in salt water, they would rust. And as time went on, the finish would wear, and you had a fixed choke. And I mean, you just had to either buy another barrel, if you was wanting, say, a 26-inch barrel with a cylinder choke if you were hunting in a small swamp, versus a 30-inch barrel with a full choke if you were hunting in big water. You'd have to change barrels, and so there's an extra cost there. Where we're starting to get into the more modern interchangeable chokes, non-blued. This is parkerized finish. Holds up very well to corrosion. The only downfall to the parkerized finish, and you can see it here, it does show scratches. It's got one scratch there in the receiver, one on the top. Every parkerized firearm I've ever had, for whatever reason, it just, when you scratch it, I mean, it's like taking a highlighter and highlighting it. Other than that, I mean, you can wipe them down with a little bit of oil, and it's like the parkerization just absorbs and holds that oil, and does what it's supposed to do. But I hope you guys like this video. If you do, like and subscribe, and you may see it in some some future videos. Like I said, I like this shotgun. Not much on it on YouTube. And so far, it's been more reliable than the Browning. Thanks, guys.